How's it going, everybody? I'm John Norris. It is kind of a chilly morning here in Brooklyn, New York, but we are excited nonetheless because we're about to launch into a new season of Noisemakers on Noisevox. That's right, another year of music and conversations with some of the most exciting names in music. Leading off today with some ladies from Los Angeles who hopefully will be importing a little warmth and sunshine to this rainy and chilly morning here in Brooklyn, talking about the women of Warpaint. This is a band whose core has been together some years now, but they didn't really appear on most people's radar until last year with the release of an EP called Exquisite Corpse, a record that lived up to at least the first part of its name. 6 songs of often more than 6 minutes in length, dreamy and transportive, sweetly psychedelic in places, and with warm harmonies all over the place. The record, incidentally, they collaborated on with a name you're probably familiar with, the one-time Red Hot Chili Pepper and quite the musician in his own right, John Frusciante. Now, Warpaint's drummer situation has been somewhat fluid over the years, but with the recent addition of a new member behind the kit, the band would seem to be set for the release of their first full-length later this year, an album that, if what we've heard so far is any indication, should be quite the release. As for Noisemakers, well, we find ourselves at a spiffy new location this year, the Knitting Factory here in Brooklyn, New York. And that is where we're set to sit down with Words and Music today with Emily, Jenny, Teresa, and Stella, the women of Warpaint.
Noisevox.
Well, as I said outside in the cold, we're excited because we got a new season of Noisemakers on Noisevox. We're in a new home here at Knitting Factory Brooklyn, and we're with a new, well, it's not entirely new band, certainly a band that more and more people are talking about all the time, Warpaint. Nice to meet you guys, and thanks for doing this.
Yeah,
thank you.
Wait, first of all, we'd actually, really like to thank you for existing and doing what you do here.
Oh,
I think
thanks so much.
it's special. And
well, it's special.
Needed.
It's special for us to talk to you guys, and I said outside that I hope that your being here from the West Coast will bring a little bit of warmth, because it's been, a lot of people here feel like it's been a long winter, so we're ready for the sunshine and all that good stuff. So, at least musically you'll do that. So how are things? I know you're out on the road with Akron Family right now. That's been a few weeks, right? Things are going well with them?
It's going amazing. It's actually like the best time ever. They're really, really, really good dudes.
Yeah, you're playing support, but do you find that people know the songs? The EP's been out for 6 months now, I guess, almost, right?
Yeah, definitely more than our tour in October.
Yeah.
Where there was like 6 people in Baton Rouge, you know.
Well, that was amazing, though. I couldn't believe that. We went on our first United States tour, and it didn't matter what city we were in. There was at least 4 or 5 people that had heard of us, and that
we were really excited.
Yeah, it was the most amazing thing, because you don't understand, you know, when you've only been playing around your city, how your music can spread without you ever taking it there. And it was just more than I could even ask for. That everywhere there was at least a handful.
Right.
And then I've expressed that to people who are seasoned musicians, and they're like, that's how it happens. You do that once, and then you go back, and there's 10, and then you go back, and maybe there's 30, hopefully, and then maybe one day you're playing a stadium or something.
Well, I guess it all depends on who you're talking to. But I mean, people I know have known Billie Holiday for months. They've known Stars or Elephants. But I would imagine that people are discovering your music every night playing with these guys.
That's
right?
happening a lot as people are responding really well who've never heard us.
One thing that's really nice is that we have it. There's a lot of people. There's like an equal amount of people to see both shows, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
they come early, they watch us, they stay. It's
and
nice.
Akron Family really brings sunshine. If you talk about that, they bring such a warm, open group of people who are just open to any experience musically. You know, there's not a pretension, and they're dancing, and so it's been like it's like a little gypsy hippie festival.
Right.
Yeah, like Deadhead follower vibe, you know, where they just want to go and watch these amazing musicians noodle away and get funky.
Well, you guys have little jammy impulses among you too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if people don't necessarily get that from the records, a little bit maybe, but
yeah, not a lot from that EP.
We definitely do that in practices and when we hang out and warm-ups and sound checks, you know, that's a big part of how we interact. You know?
Right.
And how we
Yeah.
write songs as well.
Yeah. We're finishing off the tour with 3 or 4 of our own shows, and then we go back to LA.
Europe in May for 2 weeks.
We did CMJ in October, and that
You
was
did indeed, and a lot of people are saying that was a big moment for the band. I mean, do you feel that way? I mean, people point to that as sort of like some good press coming out of that, as well as the Rough Trade. Did the Rough Trade deal really have? Was it a direct result?
No, it was
Yeah.
already happening.
It was
before.
pending.
That was probably some smart business.
Just
Like,
like,
oh, Rough Trade signed them after CMJ.
yeah.
No, we were
But
already,
CMJ did
we
go
were already
well.
buddies. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
We hadn't played in New York before, so
That was exciting.
we all really love it here and feel connected to it.
How did the Rough Trade deal come about? Were there a number of labels interested? And
We had a couple things going on, but it was funny. You know, one of the guys wrote us from on our MySpace initially, and then there's a guy who lives in Portland, Scott, who does A&R, who came and saw us play like this tiny little bar. It was just
this
like-
summer.
Yeah, this summer, and
And
then it
then-
just happened that way.
We were actually speaking to another label, and they, Scott, the A&R guy in Portland, was pretty urgent about telling Jeff Travis that this should happen, and letting us know that they were urgent about it, so that we didn't sign with this other label. Thank God, because Rough Trade it's the best, in my opinion.
so you guys had been in Portland working on the.
No,
We were
we
just playing a
yeah,
show.
we just did our own homemade tour for a week and a half with another band that Jen has played with before, called Moonrats, and we all just drove up the coast for a couple weeks.
Because you have been working on the full length there, right? Yeah.
No, that was
That was the
yeah.
original plan. We were going to go and record there for 2 months, and then that fell through. So we stayed in LA and have been doing that for the last month.
What's the status of that? Is it how far along?
We have 2 more
Almost
weeks.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mixing
Wow,
and
good.
a little bit of overdubs.
Uh huh. Oh, so it's that close.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Because I heard summer release now at this point.
Yeah,
right?
August.
Yeah.
I think.
Right. The EP came out on Manimal Vinyl. How did that? Those are guys you knew from LA, or?
We didn't really know Paul. I mean, it's a small little neighborhood, that we were in. We were doing a residency at this bar, Bordello. I think that's where we first met him, and playing with bands that were already on his label. So it was just like a really nice stepping stone for us to put something out. And he's really passionate about the bands he puts out.
We self-released it first, though. We put it
Yeah.
out for like a good, 6 months or something? 6 months to 8 months.
Yeah.
And then he picked it up, and it was kind of okay, yeah. go
A
for it.
re-release with a added track.
Yeah.
So it was first released beginning of last year.
It was in
February, I think.
Yeah, we had our EP release in February or March. I don't remember.
Yeah, we had it in Amoeba. Basically, you could only get it at Amoeba.
Yeah.
But it did really well there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I've heard that. Yeah.
Self-released it from our
We would bring it in. We'd like bring it in, ourselves.
like
leave
lemonade
it there.
stand.
Yeah, get them money and like pass out $20 each.
Noisevox.
You guys, for people who don't know the history, I mean, the band, or at least the core of the band, has been together for 4 years?
Almost 6
So-
years
6
off
years.
and on.
6
Off
years.
and on.
Yeah, in between we took a year break, but yeah. So 6 years we've been involved.
I don't think we played a show
other,
for at least a
musically.
year either.
Or
We're still mentally, emotionally, musically tied to each other.
So for the EP for it not to come out for a couple of years, is that just because you guys wanted to get it right? Did you record a lot of stuff and then not have it end up on the EP? Or?
We actually did. We recorded the EP. We totally did a record, and we weren't happy with it. So then we did it again with different songs.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. We forgot about that.
yeah, totally.
But we made it. We wrote those songs anywhere between 2004 and 2007, and then we recorded it in 2007. So it's really old. It's like really our history.
What are the oldest songs on it?
Stars,
Elephants,
elephants.
Stars. I think Stars was our
Stars
first
was
song.
the first song that we ever actually wrote
Yeah.
from start to finish.
All together at the
Yeah.
same moment, like not one person bringing backbone of a song.
It was just like a jam. And
It was
for
It was like this layering process together.
And that's a song that some people may know best from you, by virtue of the video. Did you? Is that the one video that's come from the EP? So
There's
far?
two. There's
Okay.
elephants as well.
Okay.
That was really a labor of love we made with our friend Burke on my birthday.
Yeah.
Right after the Angeles National Forest burned down, we went out there.
And Stella wasn't with
cool.
us yet.
No, I was sick.
Yeah.
I was in bed. Flu. That's not true.
But she was jamming.
You shot it in the sort of ruins of the.
We did it
Yeah.
in various places. We had basically 3 days before we were going on the last tour that we went on to make a video. Man on the Vinyl was like, we need something, we want you guys to have a video. So basically we had 3 days and we were rehearsing, we didn't sleep for 3 days. It was just like, pick a spot,
Yeah.
pick a spot, pick a spot, okay, go. It was just like very spontaneous. And what do you guys want to do right now? Okay.
Did you
Do
choose
it.
that it was going to be Stars, or that was their?
That was
It was a mutual
Collective
decision.
decision.
It's, I guess, surprising to some people that, considering all the attention Billie Holiday got, that wouldn't have been a video, or was that not really ever considered?
Considered. A lot of people have actually asked
Yeah.
to do it.
I don't know. I feel like
Wasn't
Billie
my
Holiday.
decision.
Not that any of the songs deserve this, but yeah, Billie Holiday. I might need something a little bit more specific or something.
Yeah.
Not just a.
Because it's so
Whimsical.
unique and
It's also a little more slow and
Conceptually.
acoustic. Yeah, there maybe is a.
And
I hear you.
yeah, just we need like a thick concept there. And we've yet to
Maybe we'll make it
have that
ourselves.
concept.
And when people, so much of the press since, I guess, last summer, when I noticed press starting to sort of ramp up about you guys, have used words like, whether it's dreamy or psychedelic or hazy or what have you. I think there's a lot of people will read one thing and they'll write sort of a variation of that for their particular review. Are you fine with sort of the way that the band's been written about thus far, and are there aspects of the band that maybe people aren't getting?
Our music's open to interpretation or open for interpretation, so however they want to genreify it or classify it is they can.
Yeah.
It's their free will to do.
There's a
I
lot.
don't even think we know what we sound like, so it's sort of, I don't know. It's definitely an eclectic sound. So when people
Yeah.
actually use certain words to describe our music, it's kind of
It's refreshing almost.
yeah. It's like
Thanks.
That's what we sound like.
It's
Cool.
helpful.
Well,
Yeah.
especially because it's not like you guys are freak folk or some weird shit. It's like
yeah.
I think also with Stella
what we
joining the band and not we really the EP is one thing and the new stuff and our live shows have really changed. The energy is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So I think it'll probably change. The definition will change too.
It does resist any of those new sort of tags that everyone likes to, with blogs within a couple weeks like to affix to something, everything from chill wave to freak folk to whatever.
We have our own genre.
Yeah?
Psychedelic, ghetto tech, melodramatic, popular song.
Why is it a
mouthful.
question? Is it pop song?
Progressive brutal.
No.
That was just
That's
what
my
we
favorite.
chose on our MySpace.
Yeah. So as far as people who, freedom I know is a word that I've seen you use a lot. Just that you don't like the idea that you're sort of restricted to anything. That sort of freedom in whether it's as people or musically, sort of being free spirited is something that you hope is communicated in the songs. And I think that's certainly apparent for instance, in the Stars video.
Right.
We touched on the jam thing earlier. Is that something that if people see you live, is there more improvisational stuff to the show?
It's been building more and more too. Just we've only had Stella touring for this tour so far and a couple shows in LA. So we're really just beginning this process with this group, and it's just definitely grows in that kind of freedom form.
And I also love, one of you guys was quoted as saying that you hope that the full length has sort of an underwater quality to it, sort of sonically. And I think that's a quality you could attribute to some of the songs on the EP as well in places. How do you achieve that, and what is sort of appealing to you about that?
That had a lot to do with treatments
treatment
that
afterwards.
John Frusciante did, using actual analog.
Modular synthesizers and things like that.
And treating a lot of reverb, I would say achieves that. Our EP is like that, and that's one reason why we get classified as dreamy or ethereal. Yeah,
Pretty,
and
yeah.
some of our songs still maintain that feeling, but there's a lot going on now that's different than that for sure.
It's vastly different.
I don't think we're trying to do that for the whole thing, but definitely certain songs.
Yeah, the water to me also can just be the way that we write together and kind of get into these little tranced places. Has just kind of a fluid quality, maybe.
Like water.
Noisevox.
Everyone says LA band, but you're not. Some of you grew up in Oregon.
Yeah,
right?
Teresa and I grew up in Eugene. We met when we were in middle school.
So that's sort of the beginnings.
That's
It's our beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Emily and I started with Jen and her sister, and we played. And
That
the
was
story is
04?
that was on Valentine's Day. That's our anniversary.
Yeah, we played
It's not just a story. We worked really well together instantly. You know, just felt right, and then.
And
a lot of things
Then we
happened.
moved in together and got married.
Exactly, that's the abridged
That was
version.
nice and short.
Well, for Jenny, for people who don't know, Shannon Sussman is your sister, and so how long was she playing with you guys?
2 years? Wait. It was about 2 years first, and then she quit the band, and then we all kind of broke up for about a year, and then
And this is
Maybe
just because she was her
Because
other
she
stuff
was,
took
yeah,
off.
she was just she didn't have time, and she also
Right.
has a son too. So it was just like this was everybody's main focus and main project, and she was just kind of, I think, spread a little too thin, and wanted to focus on those other two things.
Then we made the
But-
EP with her.
Yeah, then
Yeah,
we
we
got
made
back
the EP
together.
with her, but we got back
So
together.
she did
basically.
play on the EP.
She played, yeah, on 3 of the
Yeah.
songs. That's her, yeah.
Okay. Well, the pre-Stella, the drummer situation's been, you might say, a little fluid over the years,
Like
right?
water.
Huh?
Yeah, underwater.
Exactly. There you go. There was David.
Dave Orlando,
Yeah.
and then Josh Klinghoffer for a bit, and then
Quinn.
Quinn went on. I don't know his last name. He went on tour
Michael
with us.
Quinn.
I wasn't even aware of him. I knew Josh and Dave. but-
Quinn went on
We
the tour
basically
with
just
us.
hired him last tour
For
to go on tour with
October.
us.
Was it important that it get back to being for women? Or was that never really an issue?
It seems like it now.
Yeah, now it feels.
Now it makes sense that why we kept breaking up with our boyfriend. You know?
Well, it just wasn't, something wasn't, yeah, something just wasn't. We
And you
started,
mean that in the sort of band sense? Of the
No,
word
we were all
Yes.
going out with him. Well,
Same guy.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like a cult. It's really weird.
We're Mormon.
Oh, okay. Works.
polygamists.
chill.
Well, these guys had stamina,
chill.
apparently.
And by the way, I met Stella at a Metallica concert.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, that's the story.
So, when and where was that, and how?
Oh, where was that? The Wiltern?
Yeah, it was a small show. It was a benefit for the Silver Lake Conservatory of Music.
How long ago?
Oh,
Last year.
last year sometime. No.
More?
2
years ago.
2 years ago.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Hey, go on.
Yeah. That was it. And then we just saw each other at coffee houses.
And
2
didn't
years
even
running.
talk initially about working together, or?
No, one of our friends was like, "You can't steal Stella from us." So,
so
she
you-
was off limits for a minute.
So you were in a band at the time.
I was playing with different artists
Uh-huh.
and touring with lots of different artists.
How long had you been in LA? Because you don't
Had I
sound
been
like
in
you're.
LA?
You don't sound like you're from.
I haven't got the twang yet. Okay. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm really trying. These girls are training me. Yeah. I moved there initially in April 2008. And I think I met you shortly after that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then was she one of your initial thoughts as far as the drummer?
I wasn't getting my hopes up for a long time. I think we all really knew that it would be really amazing, but just waiting till it happened naturally. Mm-hmm. But we just knew that she was incredible, you know.
We all saw her play. We all played a show at Troubadour. She was playing with Flea and John and Josh, and that's the first time I saw her play.
Yeah,
and I was
me
pretty
too.
blown away. And then that thought kind of floated around for a little while.
Yeah, she was doing an
this
Aphex
Ataxia?
Twin cover.
Oh.
No, it was
That's
just
pretty
an improv.
incredible.
Why don't you talk?
We
about it?
were, we did do an Aphex Twin.
But he said ataxia.
I said, was this with Ataxia that you were playing?
No,
Oh.
no. No,
So
this
just like
was
a jam.
it was a one-off thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. And these girls played with us, as well as a band called Weave, who were really cool as well. And yeah, that's the first time I met Jen. And I think I went to Coachella with you. But we didn't speak to each other. You just ate snacks in the back seat on the way. You just drank kombucha. I just thought you were a mega hippie.
Hey, we did talk.
Maybe.
We did.
We'll talk
We
about
had
this
fun,
later.
actually.
Yeah,
We actually had a great time and
Yeah.
we laughed a lot. I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I don't.
Yeah.
I have
And I
skewed
was eating
memory.
Speaking of
snacks,
Coachella,
but
do
You
guys
were
have-
eating snacks. That's
Do you guys
all I
have festivals on your schedule for this year?
Lollapalooza and Bonnaroo.
Nice, nice.
And
The Great Escape. I'm just kidding. I guess it's like a South by Southwest in England.
Yeah.
That's it so far.
So, just getting to finish up how Stella sort of joined the ranks. Was there an official offer at one point, or did you audition people, or?
we just asked her if she wanted to play with us, and we played.
You called me from CMJ.
That's right. I called her from CMJ, and it was like, all right. She was on tour. We were both on tour. I did. It's a bit aggressive. Yeah, basically just said, we want to play with you. Let's play when we get home. We played a few times. Then we played 2 shows. Then she went to Australia and she came home and we started recording a record.
Yeah.
So we really dived in there.
So you've been on the whole full length as far up to this
Yes.
point, yeah. Yeah.
Thus far.
She is getting a quarter of any money that we make off of that album.
Any money we owe, she owes as well.
That's
And
right.
you and she owes.
And just not to belabor the gender thing, but does it change the dynamic of like now having 4 women like being on the road together as opposed to having the guys sort of like hanging around?
Yeah.
Lots of estrogen.
Well, I guess Alex is hanging around.
Yeah, we still have a guy on there.
He stabilizes us.
He's so gentle.
Yeah,
though.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have,
The energy feels really tight. Feels really solid and
The communication in the writing process to me has become a lot more just like easy to understand each other even without words. I feel like there's a connection of just being on the same page, whereas I feel like, the 3 of us were always really on the same page and having new people coming in all the time, trying to like come into this unit that had been formed in this way of writing that's not very technical,
yeah.
So it's really just...
And has it been very welcoming for you? I mean, to be now with these 3 people who've been playing together for a long time?
Yeah, I was hesitant at first
Yeah.
because there's always a technique of doing things amongst people who've known each other for a long time, and at first you're a little nervous to speak your mind, but they've made it very clear that it's an open field as far as ideas go.
yeah, I feel like if Stella had played with us that first day that we all ever played together, it would have been the same feeling, where there was just a musical communication and a way of going about writing music or playing that completely combined with everybody, worked well with everyone. So
It's the breast connection, really.
Noisevox.
We mentioned Billie Holiday earlier, and it's such a unique song, and one that, Emily, as I understand it anyway, the idea of doing something that people might, somewhere down the line, see as some sort of homage or tribute to the great Billie Holiday was not ever really part of this, right? That the sort of BILLIE thing just sort of came about at one point? And
Yeah, it was la 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 la.
Placeholder, yeah.
And then there was a poster of her in this room that we were practicing in, and I was just playing it, and the letters fit.
it's a subconscious homage.
It is though. I mean, that it wasn't like, oh, I can't do that. It was like,
Right.
oh, nice little added bonus that she's the best.
Can you talk me a bit about how the song came together? Because the sort of, you want to call it the My Guy portion of the song, was that the core of it? Is that how it began?
That's actually the last addition to it. I wrote the guitar part maybe like a year before, and then the la la la's, and then Teresa learned the guitar part, and she opened up a songbook and found the song and put that on also. So it's kind of 2 separate ideas put together.
Then came up with that little chord change for the second part of the My Guy part. I'm blanking right now. Anyways.
The qualities that we talked about earlier, that people have latched onto it, where you call it ethereal or hazy or dreamy or whatever, that married with a song that is at least partially a cover is what led some people, one outlet in particular, and then I think others to sort of glom on to the Cat Power comparison. Is that something that
because of the covers record or something?
I think because she's, at this point, Sean is very associated with doing covers, at least in the last couple of years, that I've seen, and I think it began with the Pitchfork write-up, but I think then it continued after that. People jumped on
Well, we
it.
never do. I mean, I don't think we ever think about anything but in pleasing and making sure that we all are on the same page with each other is what we do anything for, and that never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised by the comparison, but I guess it's pretty and...
Right. Any of the other ones that you guys get, the Cocteau Twins comparison, is that on the mark at all as far as...
It's cool. I had never heard Cocteau Twins until...
That's happened so much, when you see bands get these...
Yeah.
Oh, that's the reference point, and then you mention it to them, and they're like, sure, I think they're great, and but I guess it, like you were saying, some of that really happens so subconsciously that you never know where it's coming from. Did you guys all? Well, you knew each other pretty early on. Did you have similar inspirations?
I think in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, our inspirations morphed into similar things after being such close friends for years, As far as where we come from in our early years, I think there's differences there. But both were musical in their own way.
Yeah, our parents are still very
artistic.
open, artistic, cool.
I grew up in
hippies.
Yeah.
And did
My parents weren't hippies.
Not really.
Just very quickly, how did you sort of end up meeting them in LA?
I met her at a coffee shop. And that was we had a special, cute little interaction. We just saw each other and we're like, oh, hi, you're cool.
It was like a love at
I was
first
like
sight
5 years
moment.
old child, and we basically took a liking to each other and exchanged phone numbers, and we kind of started seeing each other around out.
I bummed a
Dance
cigarette
clubs.
and I didn't even really want it. I just wanted to talk.
I love the fact that girls could say that, because if two guys said that, they'd be like, oh, okay.
I don't even remember.
So, and then getting back to a couple specific songs, I think maybe my favorite Exclusive Corpse song is Beatles, and I think I think so, actually.
That's awesome.
Because I liked the fact that it's like 2 or 3 songs in one. That sort of stop-start thing. And I know one of you have said before that you don't necessarily like traditional song structures, verse, chorus kind of approach. Can you quickly say anything about how that particular song came together and how it's at least got two distinct songs within it?
That's another one of those jammers just kind of hanging out in the garage when we were practicing, and
It was actually...
it just was
That
happening.
was when we were a 3-piece.
Yeah, that's Teresa.
Oh, that's right.
It was
Melody.
Teresa on the drums, and Jen playing bass and me playing guitar. The first beginning part for a long time was just a jam. It
Yeah,
wasn't
no
Teresa singing and then there was just the singing in the middle of the song, and then another jam. And then it kind of morphed in Shannon. When Shannon came in, it morphed again. I think, I'm not opposed to verse, chorus, verse structure, but I think just the way that we flow into things, those rules don't exist in our heads, so it's like, oh, right here, just would be nice to relax for a second. And then, it's really about feeling
I think
where it needs to go.
Is it?
Yeah, as an artist, I think it's really important, probably in whatever field artistically one is in. It's important to come from a place of discarding those formulas that most people go by, and at least at first, so that you can get to a place where you're doing your own thing. And eventually through that, I think a person can discover so much about themselves and what they have to express. And then after that, you can get into either going more out there or taking it in a little bit or taking it in and going out again, you know, just like, I think it gives versatility, and if you abandon those preconceived ideas for at least, you know, your formative years or something.
What's the live set consist? Is it pretty much all the EP songs and other stuff at the moment?
There's other stuff. We're itching to play a lot of the stuff that on our album that's coming out, and we are playing some of it. And but it's nice not to abandon those songs either, because we haven't played them around that much. You know, we've only done one tour with them.
I know there's this War Child compilation coming up, and you guys did "Ashes to Ashes," the Bowie song for that. Is that that's not in the live show yet, or will it be at some point? Do you think?
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. We just have to relearn.
It was just like basically we haven't had a chance to. It was like a session for all of us. We all kind of went in there separately and recorded and did our bits. So we haven't actually even gotten a chance.
How did
to play it
that?
live.
Did you guys choose that song? Yeah. They pretty much said, "What do you want?"
No,
It's
they
not
said
taken?
no.
Yeah, it was
We were like,
taken.
please. And then the person who was going to do it ended up not doing it, so we got it.
Noisevox.
Is there a community in LA? I think here in New York, sometimes we think of LA as more sort of scattered, and you know, here in Brooklyn, there's all this cohesion, and you know.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Where we live, it's
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
East Side. Like a part of
Yeah, you
LA.
definitely can go to like a potluck and see them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
party.
Well, one LA guy that you touched on earlier that before we run out of time, I want to ask you about is John Frusciante, and how that came about, that he worked on the EP. Was that through Josh? Or
John, I used to go out with John for a couple of years. So when the
And
band
you-
was really just getting started, he was just really supportive. He came to all our shows and just really liked what we were doing and was really just excited for us. And so when it came time after we had produced it, he just had so much passion and invested interest in the project and really knew what we were going for. So he offered to mix it and put it through. You know, he's got like a really nice board, and really he has his tape machines and just so much great gear that it really warmed up the sound. He really liked the idea of like the Brian Eno Talking Heads collaboration idea for him.
Right,
you know?
right.
And you know, we gave him a lot of free reign, but we were really involved with it, and it was great. He even would come in and do sound at some of our shows.
Oh yeah.
It was really cool.
That
Wow.
was
Yeah.
amazing.
He's just an artist, you know, and he just puts his complete heart and soul into whatever he does, like a child, just so invested. We were really lucky to have.
Yeah, he's put out
Yeah.
some interesting records that I think you know, people who only superficially know his work are maybe not that aware of, but some really great stuff. And now, of course, I guess that his sort of departure from the Peppers was like that happened a while ago, but it only recently sort of came out that he was no longer officially part of the band. Is it?
I think they weren't sure if they were going to even make another album. I think so. They all, in a sense, departed in a way, even though they didn't. But there was just that unknown thing, and so he, I think, probably had made up his mind at that point.
And as I understand it, Josh is now sort of officially even taking John's role in the Chili Peppers. Is that right? I mean, is it official or?
Yeah, it's official.
Wow. I mean, that's the fact that you guys are so close to these two guys who sort of switched roles is a bit bizarre, no?
It was all us. Yeah.
The Yoko Onos. Of the
There's
Chili
no
Peppers.
one better to. There's no.
And I'm with Chad now. It's my boyfriend.
Is that right?
No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
okay. I believe
Will
He
Ferrell.
has a wife and
that would be a problem then. But you're not working with John on the full length. You can talk a bit about Tom for people who don't know him, or
Tom Biller is the most zenned out person I've ever met. He's really just. He's
if people do know him, they might know him from his work with John Bryan.
Yeah. He just did the Liars new record.
He engineered Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, he does a lot of mixing for, you know, sound like John Bryan soundtracks, or he did the Karen O, Where the Wild Things Are. He's in a band, he has a baby. He's really cool. He's open and experimental, and it's really easy to work with.
So in our remaining couple minutes, let me just ask you about what you can tell us about the full length and how it might, for people who feel like they sort of know you guys from the EP, any significant sort of differences, and still 6-minute plus songs, and
No, it varies.
Yeah.
We've got
not that there's anything wrong with
No,
that. Yeah.
of course not.
There's a bit of like hood rat going on. I don't know if that makes sense to even me, but
Gangster?
there's just something like a little tougher and heavier, I feel. What, you know, that.
A little more butch.
Well, also, that EP came out, or we made that so long ago. We've just had so much has changed, just through, when we made the EP, we'd barely even played shows before. So playing in a live setting, really, you learn how to bring the energy.
Right.
And I think that's really in the record. And Stella brings like the energy,
Mm-hmm.
Also, playing out live, you start to realize when you're doing something that's not necessary, and when to allow space for somebody else to come through and have what they're doing heard, because it best suits the song. And so I feel like at this point for this album, we're much more versed in conversing with each other.
Yeah, it's more of a conversation.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And titles, is there a single title or a full-length title yet, or do you know?
We
maybe just said it.
We can't disclose that
You
information.
maybe just mentioned
It's a
it.
surprise.
Maybe.
Oh, really?
We maybe did.
Oh,
It's a riddle.
Maybe.
Yeah,
to
it's
go
a
back.
riddle.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back over that. I missed that. And then I assume that's going to be out later into the summer?
I think I heard
August 12th?
August 23rd.
So you can probably wait to go out back on the road until then, close to then, or?
We have
Things
some
in the
shows. Yeah, we have a couple shows, like a month. We're doing Lollapalooza. When is that? August, I think. And then Bonners in July or June.
Europe.
We go to Europe in May.
And like you said, some of the songs are already in the live set.
4 at least.
Yeah.
5 sometimes.
You can name those songs, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can name them.
Jubilee.
Bees. Someone else.
Majesty.
We have more
Composure.
electronic sounds on our album this time. This is another difference from our EP. She's been programming some bits.
That was something you sort of just grew out organically, or you said at some point, we'd like to incorporate more of
I
that?
think we've
Definitely,
all
yeah.
always been very attracted to that kind of
Yeah.
music and stimulated by it, and so
We wanted to incorporate it into ours.
Yeah. Big influence.
Well, I'm looking forward to it so much. I know it's going to another few months wait till we're going to get to hear it all, and looking forward to this too. So thank you again for doing this.
yeah, we really
you.
appreciate it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, thank you for
That's
having
fun.
See you soon. Thanks. Great.
Noisevox.